G'day, Paul here. I've got this old ammunition box from World War II that I've been using as a toolbox, and in it I've kept some of my stonemasonry tools. But I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple of trowels that we have here. This was my trowel that I used to build the house at 7 Hill. This was one of my father's trowels, and here's the larger trowels we've got. That's the one I used. This is the one that Claude used to build his house in 1948 and 1949 at Blackwood. And with the help of my brother Kevin, who's done some marvellous collecting of old sound files and photographs, I'm wanting to tell you the story. Well, that's the trowel that Dad used on miniature work down at the miniature village. And here's his old tomahawk. No doubt used that to chop a bit of firewood up at Blackwood in his building days many years ago. But this is really a story about my dad, the wonderful legacy that he left us with his building works over his many years of his life. He was still pottering around in his 80s doing little bits of stonework here and there, and this is a story about him and his stonework and the building of his house. Remarkably, I built a stone house when I was about the same age as he was. In 1974 I started building a house in 7 Hill in the Clear Valley, and at the same age that my dad was when he started building his house in Blackwood in 1948. So, and another similarity was that he used recycled building materials, as did I. Use recycled building materials. We used to take old stone farmhouses that had been knocked down in the bush and take the stone by stone back to our property and build our house. Whereas Claude took down a community hall in the Mallee out near Karoonda, and he brought that back to Blackwood Station and built a house out of that. So this is a wonderful story about my dad Claude, my hero, my stonemason, my building dad, Claude Nicholas.
In this advert for a hall at Marama, and they gave the dimensions of the hall. So I tendered for that. I over the phone, I made a tender, or I might have written a letter. I tendered for that, and I tendered £100. And I thought that mightn't be enough, so I made £108. Anyway, I won the tender, and I had to get it from Marama to Blackwood, see. I was on leave. I had holidays. So I arranged to go up there and pull it down. I was going to do it in a week. You go up there on the Monday and back, but there's no trains in the middle of the week, see. The train goes up and back on Monday. So I went up on the Monday and started work on dismantling the hall. Harper comes up the next day. He come to Pinaroo and biked it through to Marama.
Push bike?
Push bike.
How many kilometres is that?
Oh, it might be 20 or 30, I don't know.
Rode his bike 20 miles.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he rode his bike.
I did not know that.
Go on. And how did you get to Marama?
Well, Marama's on the PB.
He's a working man, don't forget.
I say, Marama is on the P-Binga line.
Tell me about it.
But I had to catch a train on the
Pinaroo line.
line. And then in the dark, cycle 20 miles across.
God, was it in the dark?
Yeah.
Good God.
You rode your bike 20 miles.
With me tools.
With his tools.
Oh, God.
Dark. Where the hell did we sleep?
On the floor.
Oh, in the old building.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a good floor though, wasn't it?
Was a Jarrah floor.
Oh, of course, it took some soaring up, I tell you.
Oh,
and of course,
I can't believe I got myself into such a bloody mess.
How much
and
did you
Claude-
pay for that hall? Would you remember?
About £105.
Of course, you had the transport tied up.
Yeah, that was free. The bastards, they should never done it to me. The bastards up in head office, they did that.
But you said the other day you could never have built that house without Jack.
There's no question. There's not a bit of a question about it. I mean, I'd have never got the thing.
Dad had the plumbing knowledge.
No, but no, I'd have never got the damn stuff home.
What, Jack was the plumber, was he?
Yeah.
I'd have never pulled it down.
And so we pulled the hall to pieces. It was weatherboard on the outside, very weathered. Some of them weren't any good, but I used a lot of them. Inside was lined with matchboard, a beautiful matchboard. It was a beautiful hall. A jarrah floor, galvanised iron roof. So we dismantled it nail by nail.
You didn't
There
the
was
floor.
a brick chimney there. They had a fireplace. Well, we gave them away. I think we gave them away, the bricks, because I didn't want the bricks.
No, well, when we went down to get the material from
Rama.
yeah, that was quite an experience to knock down this lovely. It was, a nice building right by the railway station.
Was it an old hall, Dad?
Yeah, an old hall.
But how did you get to the hall, Dad?
Yes.
On the train, a freight train.
Well, no, I went up on a freight train, but it's on the other
Line.
the other line. So I get there at 8 o'clock at night, and luckily it was moonlight. And then I had to. He had advised me, the road to take, and I was able to pick the right one. So that was another 20 miles that I had to ride at night over to the other railway line where he was. And so the big drama happened on the final night, where we'd stripped everything except the chimney stack. It was the only brick.
A brick stack.
A brick one, and we knew that there were bees
In the chimney.
In the chimney, but he said he'd like to get some of the bricks. So so this was the final thing the night before, where we were to connect with the train that was coming through, which was only once a week. And so when we sort of made it quite loose at the base, and then it came tumbling down, and smoke everywhere, or dust it was really, but in the dust were thousands of bees.
Yeah, they came.
And I got really, really badly stung. And
So how did you know there were bees in there?
Do you know?
Oh yes, so it was obvious while we were knocking it
they
down.
were business.
but however, it all went well, and it was from that he was able to get the it was a beautiful floor in that building, and the timbers were all good.
Was it jarrah?
Pardon?
Was it jarrah floor?
I think it was, and also the galvanised iron too. And so he was, because working in the railways as he was able to arrange
Transport.
transport.
Anyway,
And the floor you sawed in three.
the floor, we sawed it in 3 pieces, see? Picked up the whole of a third of the floor.
Big enough to cart out.
And big enough to
rooms.
handle. See?
They were our bedrooms.
Big enough to handle. So, and we had a big O truck there, a big rail.
You've got one of the locals do what?
We've got a horse and cart, horse and trolley, to take all the stuff we're dismantling over to the railway yard 100 metres away, and loaded into this truck. And then on the following Monday, I'm not sure what day he came. I was up there on the Monday. He could have come Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't know. And then the following Monday, we got on the train, came down back to Karoonda. And then we got on a passenger train and came to town, and the truck followed on a freight train, and was going to go to Blackwood. See? So that was shunted into Blackwood Yard and left there. We had a tarpaulin over it, I guess. Would have had to have a tarpaulin over it. And then I had to buy a block of land.
Well, you still never had the land?
No, I don't think I had the land. So I went to the land agent at Blackwood, Stuart. Oh, I'm trying to think of his name, but anyway, that's not important. So he showed me a few blocks, and actually the one I bought I shouldn't have bought because it was a heavy climb up to the railway station. You know where it is. But I should have bought it. I should have bought it because the kids had a ball there down the creek. You know, down that creek on the oval.
You can't buy that now.
Eh?
You can't buy that experience now.
No, you couldn't. It was absolutely magic for the kids. Oh yeah, for that reason alone, it was worth it, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Because the kids had a ball there. It was a lovely place for kids to grow up.
And quite handy to the station.
Oh, well, it wasn't that far.
And?
So then of course, I had to go to work, didn't I? And that meant I had to have somewhere to live, so I bought a tent, went into town and got an old army tent. And it leaked like blazing.
I didn't know that.
So he's living in a leaky old tent. How'd you fix that?
I reckon I was there for 6 months in that
I
tent,
think you were.
but I would never have survived without 2 neighbours.
Yeah.
3 neighbours,
Wonderful
probably.
neighbours.
3 neighbours. The lady on the top side, Mrs. Bonner, Mrs. Bonner, she had a daughter called Bonnie Bonner. And she
was as rough as a goat's breakfast, Bonnie was.
Bonnie had to go to work. Her mother was there.
She worked in the sheep pump place, Sheridan's or something.
Anyway, wherever she worked, she had to get up early to go to work. And they woke me up, because I had to go to work at 6 o'clock. I'd never made it on my own.
Goodness.
She woke me up and gave me breakfast.
For 6 months?
That lady?
Yes, she did.
That lady? I'll tell you what, if she's not in heaven, I'll be surprised. Then, that was the first thing we did.
And we all moved up there, didn't we?
Well, it took a while, didn't it? I don't know, you might have a better idea of time, but...
I don't have any idea.
Because you pulled it down, that gave you your plan.
Yes.
Oh, well, of course, because we cut it into 3, it just was logical to make 3 rooms of that, and it was solid.
We had our bedroom.
I had to get a coil of steel, what do you call that stuff? It's about that wide. Strap. A whole coil of it I had to buy.
You're strapping it up.
I had to strap it.
On the diagonal.
Yeah.
Who taught you to do that?
Oh, this carpenter bloke.
What's his name?
I don't know his name.
And why is Bruce Harper in the photo?
Oh, they came to visit, because Harper came up.
Harper came up to
But that was just a visit, I think.
Yeah. Oh no, but yeah, that was.
Because there was no plumbing in the first place.
He went up to help you get the hall.
Why did he go up to help you get the hall?
Well, he came over to marry Ruth, see.
When did we start building?
July 48.
That'd be right.
That'd be right. I was now working on the second part because we were living in the first 3 rooms.
That's right.
Right. So you finished the first 3 rooms before March 49.
Yes, we had it.
Yes, that's got it going. Good.
the war victim. You couldn't get any material. You couldn't buy a sheet of iron. You had to get a permission from a government officer to buy iron. And here I am. I've got the second-hand stuff. That's all right. I had that. I had 3 rooms. But when I built the rest of the house, that's 2 bedrooms. No, 1 bedroom, the lounge,
One more
the
bedroom, Jane's
kitchen,
bedroom.
and a dining area.
Yeah, but I liked the shoot down in the from the bathroom
Yeah, that's
and the passage
yeah,
down
yeah.
into the
but
laundry.
the house this is about 2/3 of the house. I had many iron for the roof, you know, and I don't know. Well, I know how it happened because a man that went to our church at Maylands by the name of Laurie, he was in charge of a hardware store, and I went to him. And he said, well, you have to get a permit to get iron, see? So he took me into the city, Perry Street, to the office of the man who had the say over the distribution of iron, and told the story, 5 kids, and building a house, and they need so much iron, you know. I signed it. Because he got the iron, he had to get the permit to get the iron, and that's how I got that.
How about how I used to donkey you into
the railway
railway
station
on
to
the
catch
Sunday
the
morning?
train.
We'd catch the train,
Oh.
and we were stopped once by a policeman, weren't we? Oh, you can't do that, mister. And so we waited he was
They
outside.
said you couldn't donkey.
My dad, Claude, only ever built one house, but he never really gave up building. After he moved from Blackwood to Renmark to Chaffey, he did a lot of work around the house at Chaffey, and then for the Renmark Methodist Church he put beautiful paving around the entire building. Then as he moved on in his life, he did a lot of help for us kids. He helped Jan, I know, build a little garden wall out the front of her house in McGill, and he helped Pauline and I build the house at Seven Hill. Some of that was massive stonework. And then later in our lives he came down to the miniature village and did some work down there. He planted a lot of roses, about 4,000 roses, but he also helped with some of the miniature paving. He also paved around our pool when we lived at Eden Hills. So my hero, my dad, was a great builder and always able to utilise very scarce resources to achieve his goal, and did a marvellous job, left many people with fond memories of his building expertise.